So who do you have
So
next?
Zeke is RB14. David Montgomery is RB15.
I love it.
And I kind of want to put him higher. And I just like don't get his RB20 ADP, which is where you have him. I want to put him higher than RB15. So like a big concern with running backs playing alongside hypermobile quarterbacks is that they really don't often target the running backs. But that was not the case last year. Over his last 6 games, Montgomery was the highest end bell cow. He ranked 3rd in carries, 1st in targets, 1st in XFP, 1st in XTD, 2nd in fantasy points scored, 2nd in backfield XFP percentage. That's like, it doesn't get any better than that. And then over his last 19 games, 18.2 carries, 4.4 targets, 17.7 XFP, 18.6 fantasy points per game, 76% snap share. Those are all top 6 numbers at worst, or would have ranked as much last year. I mean, only Derrick Henry, Jonathan Taylor, and Austin Eckler had more than 18.6 fantasy points per game last year. He's being drafted as the RB20. You can say Chicago's not going to be very good. Who cares? They weren't good last year. They weren't good the year before. He's a bell cow. And like, there's very small splits between what he averages in losses, RB10 production, and what he averages in wins, RB4 production. Are you worried about Khalil Herbert, a round 6 running back? Like, he's Eno Benjamin tier to me. I'm not too concerned. The only concern is just regime uncertainty, which we keep coming back to. And, you know, maybe this new regime, the former pass game coordinator in Green Bay, you know, wants to do a tandem like Aaron Jones and AJ Dillon. I've seen a lot of mediocre beat writers suggest that, but without any supporting evidence. They also drafted a scat back and he signed a scat back and Treston Ebner, Darrington Evans. Maybe they want to revert back to Montgomery's 2019 season, something like that, where Tariq Cohen has that pass catching role. I don't see any evidence pointing towards that. And that's the only concern. So it's like, why RB20?
Yeah, I think more so because the reason I have him at RB20 is like, I'm nervous to rank him below everybody's darling, Travis Etienne, you know, Cam Akers, Rams, all that. I don't have a good argument though. I really like Montgomery. He's my most drafted round 5 player at this point. Like I've been falling in love with him. I can't believe he's there in round 5 in as many underdog drafts. And the scheme uncertainty, I know you keep citing that as like a concern too, but I think it's in your Anatomy of a League winner where you talk about how like a lot of times it ends up being a positive when these scheme changes. I don't know if that's true for running back or that's a different position that ends up benefiting from it. Yeah, so
I mean, you can have concerns. Like Josh Jacobs, I think, is like stuck in a disgusting Josh McDaniel style. But sometimes you never know. And a good head coach, a good offensive coordinator, which like hopefully teams are hiring more good ones than bad ones these days. You know, they give the ball to their most talented players. They're not, scheme stubbornness. They're not just like, oh, we do things my way. They're adaptive, hopefully. So
exactly.
But that's the only concern. It's like, and otherwise, this is like, I think he could easily finish as an RB1.
Yeah, those targets, those numbers, because the whole thing, the mobile quarterbacks not targeting running backs was my concern, but that number is amazing. So it makes me even higher on that. Yeah.
The thing with that is I use the same argument to be high on Justin Fields, where it reminds me of sophomore Lamar Jackson, how like the prior year he was in this Joe Flacco scheme that wasn't suited to his skill set. But I think like this year, they really redefined the offense to fit his skill set. And so I like Justin Fields, but like maybe that means fewer targets. But usually this balances out where the more hypermobile the quarterback, the better your ground game efficiency from these RPOs and things like that. But I don't know. It's just something I've thought about.
Yeah, there's a quote that I'll share with you, though, that might balance that out as well and kind of quell any type of new coordinator concern. So Luke Getsy, the new offensive coordinator, talked about that run-heavy outside zone. I'm sure you've seen that one that was blurbed about. Always nice. Like I like a good outside zone scheme as much as the next person, getting a little more fullback action in there. But then they also Eberflus, however you say the new head coach's name, he had a quote about using Montgomery more diverse as a receiver. So he said, we're going to stress those guys out and stretch their role, meaning can he run the whole gamut of the passing tree, which, you know, it looks like he can. Which kind of routes is he good at? How's the timing of that? Can he beat one-on-one guys consistently? We feel like he has the skill set to do that. So I think the sky's the limit. We don't put ceilings on guys. If you do that, it's not a good way to go about it. So we always leave it open so the guy can climb all the way and go all the way up, man, go. We encourage you to do that, and we'll keep feeding you. And that's the whole process of our football team, the new Bears head coach said. So, like, sign me up.
Can you please send me that quote? Because I went digging for hours trying to find relevant quotes. And
I'll send you the link. I'll send you the quote, but like it only fits what you're kind of outlining. So now that you have some of the data to back up that he was a bell cow, you know, he thrives as a bell cow, and now we got a coach saying we're going to use him even more diverse as a receiver. Like I'm bumping him up.
So here's my question for you.
Yeah.
What was more compelling, Zeke or Montgomery? And if you're watching on YouTube, please chime in comments. I'll go back and read all them. See if you guys can help me out with my ranking.
Yeah. Exactly. Who do you guys think about Zeke versus Montgomery? Because I like both arguments. I probably still lean Zeke just on the side of the offense being a better offense and the track record just being a little longer.
First in points per game, first in yards per game. You said that. That is not insignificant. Like, this is maybe the best offense in football with him playing with a torn PCL, with Pollard playing with a torn Liz Frank or something the last 3 games. But yeah.
Exactly.
That goes a long way.
Chime on in. Oh, good. I see you're messaging me some of the things you want. So awesome. I was writing a list at the end of our show sheet here, but you're already on top of it. So that's the quote. Let me send you the link. And why don't we?
What is up, you fantasy wolf? Thanks so much for tuning in. If you haven't already, share your thoughts in the comments. Check out some more videos and join the newest Wolfpack by subscribing below.